Welcome to the Paralegal Panel. I have with me today Elisheva Eisenberg and Rena Baxter, licensed paralegals. Our subject today, Landlord and Tenant Board. How can you help a landlord?
I can help landlords if they have tenants who have not been paying rent late, or if their tenants have been disturbing.
What does late mean? Late is like 1 day?
Late's like a week.
A week. And can they be late? Like, is one time enough for you to take them to the landlord-tenant board and get in front of a judge, an adjudicator?
One time is enough, but it doesn't usually get evicted for one time. So if it happens again and again and again, it's much more likely to be evicted.
What else do you do?
There's also the issues of if a tenant has been disturbing other tenants, a lot of noise.
What, just because you don't like Led Zeppelin?
No.
That's it? That doesn't count?
No, you can't not like somebody. There's got to be a reason. So if, let's say, the tenant has been hanging around the lobby a lot and sprinkling garbage everywhere, and another tenant wants to be able to wait for the ride in peace, then that might be considered to be disturbing. Finally, another issue would also be considered ruining the unit. So if you keep rocking your chair backwards and banging the wall up, that might be considered ruining the unit. But if you go and you start throwing things to the ceiling and the whole chandelier comes crashing down, that's definitely ruining the unit.
And what about my friends or my family or somebody who visits me in the unit?
If you're
in my apartment.
If you're the tenant and you're the one on the lease, and it's your responsibility, so you have to make sure that people who come into the apartment are responsible.
Wait, are there rules? Like, where are you getting these rules from? Are you making them up?
No. This is what it says in the RTA.
Which is what?
The Residential Tenancies Act.
Residential Tenancies Act of Ontario?
Of Ontario.
Aha. I see. And where do you go with all of this? Like, what happens
The Landlord
next?
and Tenant Board. It was previously known before 2006 as the Ontario Rental Housing Tribunal.
I see. And so you go there and you talk to a judge or something.
Yeah.
Right.
You speak to the member who has the equivalency of a judge, make decisions for your case.
And as a paralegal, would you be able to represent this landlord?
Yes.
I see. Okay. I want to talk about tenants, because there's tenants too, and the tenants, there's a lot of tenants, and they need help. They need, right? They need
Absolutely.
representation. They for instance, I have a tenant, and they just got a little doggy, a little poodle, and they want to bring little poodle in. They call the poodle Marcus, and they want to bring little Marcus in to the unit, but they have a lease, and the lease says no pets allowed. Oh, but I love Marcus. I want so badly to bring in Marcus. Now what's going to happen to me?
Well, according to the RTA, it says you are allowed pets. The only problem with the poodle would be if the poodle barks incessantly, especially in the middle of the night. So your dog has to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and you have to make sure that it lets you know, but doesn't let the rest of your neighbors know.
I see.
And if you're able to take it down in a speedy enough manner, doesn't make a mess all over the floor.
So that makes sense. So, right, I've had those. What happens if I went to, an exotic country and I brought back a very interesting monkey? And that's a pet to me. That's my pet. I love that pet.
All pets are allowed as long as they're not disturbing.
I
So
see.
they can't be disruptive, and they cannot make a mess more than in their little box or outside or, in a contained space. They don't want the whole unit to become smelly of animal waste.
So as you know, I'm a paralegal and I represent a lot of tenants. And I help them with heat, for instance. Sometimes the heat isn't raised high enough. From the end of September, which are the rules, to according to the Residential Tenancies Act and the various regulations, that the heat has to be high enough. That's a real problem in tenancy.
It's a very big problem.
In Toronto, it's a very big problem.
Especially if there are old windows or something that lets the warm air out.
Right.
And actually, I also understood that it's technically a landlord's responsibility to pay utilities. The only utility that could be given to the tenant, without any question, is electricity. But everything else is really a landlord's responsibility, and if the tenants are paying for these things and the landlord is not maintained to make sure the air stays in or out, or there's a problem with the water and the pipes freeze, it's actually a landlord's responsibility to fix it.
All of this is very interesting and definitely educational. Thank you for all of your points and how you can help both landlords and tenants.